Ion Cookie, and if you're like me, then I must kill you and absorb your power. No friends, huh? Would you just get out of prison? And your wrong answer of the game is being sponsored by
Overgrown Backyard Supply Store. Because rusted out old washing machines don't just buy themselves.
Try to choose the wrong answer, brought to you by our sponsor, to get prizes and cash. Okay, no turning back.
Get ready, time for question.
First question. Sorry for all the phallic imagery. You know, Sigmund Freud once said, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. And that's true. Everything doesn't have to secretly, subconsciously be sexual. That said, which common cigar size would look like the smallest penis? Presidente, Corona, Churchill, or Gigante? I mean, come on. It's called Gigante. Allow me. Compared to these other monster cigars, the Corona is only a respectable 5.5 to 6 inches. And it has a girth of, you know what, I'm gonna stop talking about this.
Oh, Mama gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Say it so.
Next up, Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus?
Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus.
A character in the game series Tekken. Kangaroo. A boxing kangaroo named Roger is a recurring character in the popular fighting game franchise Tekken. There's also a boxing raptor in the game, but I'm saving that fact for our Chevy Cavalier, Madame Curie, Potato, or Boxing Raptor series of questions.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
Coming up next, Grimace. How could you best describe the romantic relationship going on with the brothers Grimm? A bro-on-bro bromance, a bro-on-bro-on-bro bromance, a bro-on-bro-on-bro-on-bro bromance. There were two brothers Grimm, Jacob and Wilhelm. Legend has it that in his later years, Jacob Grimm fell under a terrible curse, but Wilhelm saved his life with a fist bump of true love. Say hello to the either-or conundrum, and a squared plus b squared equals a this or that. I'm going to read off 7 items, and for each one I want you to tell me if it's a famous mathematical theorem or the title of an episode of The Big Bang Theory. If it's a mathematical theorem, press the square button. If it's an episode of The Big Bang Theory, press the circle button. Alright, let's get started. The vengeance formula. The parking spot estimate. The 4-color. The triangle inequality. The egg salad. The friendship theorem. The hold groin You only made a little bang. I like The Big Bang Theory. Finally, there's a show that treats me like an intellectual equal. Man, I cannot get this toast out of the toaster. Stupid fork. Get that toast out of there. 5 fingers. This one's called Nice to Meet You, Lady. Let's say Lady Gaga were on her way to another award ceremony, but this time sporting a kosher meat suit. If she wanted to keep it kosher, what crazy mode of transportation should she not use? A giant egg wagon, a giant wheelbarrow of flour, a giant rolling aquarium of syrup, or a giant motorized bathtub of milk? This answer is worse than some of the songs on Art Pop. Smart people choose this. Mixing meat and dairy is definitely against kosher law. But everything else Lady Gaga does is totally religiously acceptable. That's all we got for round 1. And your score is pretty much just fairly okay. Remember, in round 2, every question is worth double. And keep in mind, our wrong answer to the game is still out there waiting to be picked. Alright, you ready? Too bad. How about... I had a bad stream! Which odd, super-specific movie genre might Netflix use to categorize the film Eraserhead? Quirky, dysfunctional families set in a bomb shelter. Suspenseful clown movies inspired by true stories. Gritty industrial horror films featuring mutant babies. Or violent dark comedies based on board games. Time's almost up! Categorize this under depressing stories about sad sack trivia game players. Correct answer, show yourself. David Lynch's 1977 classic film Eraserhead is set in a nightmarish industrial town where the protagonist has a son that looks like a mutant. Netflix doesn't really have the gritty industrial horror films featuring mutant babies category yet, so I would just try looking for it under quirky romantic comedies.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
I call this one a grisly situation. I'm pretty excited and frankly a little scared that we're bringing a real live bear into the studio for this next question.
Sorry, Cookie. The dare had to drop out at the last second, so you got me instead.
One's made of skin, one's made of wood, so who's the dummy?
Not me.
We don't get the bear?
Not you get me, Detty O'Brien, Dilly O'Brien's sister, who looks a lot like Dilly in a wig. That is actually a Ceteraturian who just looks...
Yeah. We don't need to explain it again. Just ask the bear question, Betty.
Okay. Which kind of dare is the most cunning dare in the world? The polar dares, black dares, brown dares, or tanda dares?
Brown bears, which grizzly bears are part of, are the most common and least endangered bears in the world.
I suppose you want me to leave now.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
Yes it does. I saw a dare in the woods when I was a little sapling. It was horrible. There's strays everywhere and it gets stuck in their fur and there's bits of squirrel and salmon in their Oh, and the smell. It smells like...
The f*** is wrong with you? It was a rhetorical question. Get out!
Follow me down to the sea.
It's time for... You never forget your first sniff. If Coco Chanel's first perfume had set a precedent for what the first of anything should be called, what would be true? January 1st would be January 3rd, Rocky would be Rocky 5, Pope Francis would be Pope Francis the 7th, or your first child would be your 19th child. Any last words? Too late. I so wanted you to pick this one. The first fragrance sold by Coco Chanel back in 1921 was Chanel No. 5. So the first Rocky movie would be called Rocky 5. This numbering system was also used by another modern classic, Mambo No. 5. Take a stab at, is our children learning? I was watching a little Nick Jr. yesterday during my me time, and it seems like all their show titles are just nonsense words. Lalaloopsy, Team Umizoomi. Because every word in its title is an actual word in the English language, which of these Nick Jr. shows might be the most educational? The Backyardigans? Next time, try this. Bubble is a real word, obviously, and so is guppies. Nick Jr. did it. They titled an entire show using actual English. Of course, that can sometimes be misleading. I've tried to watch that Dora the Explorer before, and half the time it sounds like she's speaking a completely different language. Not to destroy your childlike view of the world here, but backyardigans aren't real things. But you know, it is a real thing. These cinder blocks that you just won, courtesy of the Overgrown Backyard Supply Store. Why mow your lawn when you can just fill it up with crap? This wrong answer of the game has earned you a sweet 8,000 clams. Well done. Next, Corn Blakes. What might it sound like if Frosted Flakes mascot Tony the Tiger read the opening line of William Blake's famous poem, The Tiger? Tiger, tiger, burning bright. Tiger, tiger, proudly poised. Tiger, tiger, free and fast. Or Tiger, tiger, sugary sweet. The first line of William Blake's The Tiger is Tiger, tiger, burning bright. Or in Tony the Tiger speak, burning bright. It's not a terribly long poem, but it takes Tony the Tiger like 7 hours to read it out loud. Step right up to the jack. Okay, if that's how you want it. Here's the clue. Exit stage. Right. You left what TV show before it finished? Good luck. That's all she wrote! I've tried to leave my role as the host of You Don't Know Jack, but can never actually do it on account of a curse that gypsy put on me. This is my prison now. Oh. Alright, see you next time.
You Don't Know Jack!
And now, relax into Downward Dog.
Ooh,
What's wrong, Susan? Is this yoga class too hard?
no. I had a burrito for lunch and I'm feeling gassy.
Honey, this is Sweet Relief Yoga Studio. We don't hold anything back.
Now, swing your foot into Warrior 2.
Whoa, did she just?
Uh-huh.
And that's okay?
Does that answer your question?
Hi, I'm Carol Cutter, and here at Sweet Relief Yoga Studio, we believe letting go leads to true health. Hold on, I'm gagging. True health. True health is what I was going to say.
Hi, I'm Tony Panchisi.
Hi, I'm Cookie Masterson, and for just 15 cents a day, you can give me 15 cents a day. You know what I love more than anything? Wasting all these great questions on a single player. And today's wrong answer of the game is brought to you by
Neptune! Now that Pluto is out of the way, we're the last planet in the solar system. And that's kick-ass, right? Neptune.
Find the wrong answer associated with our sponsor to get yourself some sweet prizes and bonus cash. Okay, it's time.
Get ready, time for question.
Right off the bat, the castaway in the hat. If Dr. Seuss's Horton the Elephant ended up stranded on Elephant Island, what might he say to put a positive spin on his situation? An island's an island no matter how underground. An island's an island no matter how devoid of air. An island's an island no matter how radioactive. Or an island's an island no matter how cold. Elephant Island is a mountainous island off the coast of Antarctica. So yeah, it's pretty cold. Probably too cold for elephants. And they probably have to rename the book Horton Hears a Polar Bear Trying to Kill Him.
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Say it.
And now, the best pet is a shamed pet. So you've probably seen this internet meme, dog shaming, where dog owners take pictures of their sad-looking dogs next to handwritten notes about what they did wrong. I peed on my owner's pillow. Haha, stuff like that. What note would you not see in a dog-shaming picture of Cujo? I trapped a woman and her child in a car. I killed a police officer. I killed an alcoholic neighbor. Or, I ate the little boy who owns me. Why didn't you pick this? In both the book and the movie, Cujo traps a woman and her child in their car and kills several people, including a neighbor and a police officer. But the entire family that owns him is actually out of town during his rampage. If you ask me, they're the ones who should have to pose for a shaming picture. We left town without properly caging our dog, and he murdered a bunch of innocent people. Hilarious.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
Why not try? There's melanoma on that pigskin. Suppose you're at a University of Virginia or UVA football game and the students start doing the wave. If the UVA students' wave acts like the sun's UVA waves, how will the wave look? The crowd will make many short ripples. The crowd will make a few longer ripples. The crowd will make some long and some short ripples. Or the crowd will raise their hands at once, making a flat line. Interesting choice. Were you thinking of this one? The sun's UVA rays are referred to as long wave rays, while UVB rays are called short wave rays, and UVC rays are even shorter. The longer waves are what make UVA rays penetrate deeper into your skin and the earth. So that's why people who start the wave are always shirtless and covered in body paint. For protection. And here I thought they were just assholes. Open wide for, it's not a tumor, but it is a this or that. I'm gonna read off 7 phrases. For each one, tell me if it's a lesson from the book All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, or one of the American Film Institute's top 100 movie quotes of all time. If it's a kindergarten lesson, press the square button. If it's a classic movie quote, press the circle button. Okay, we're off. A boy's best friend is his mother. Clean up your own mess. Keep your friends close. Say you're sorry when you hurt someone. Play fair. No wire hangers ever. After all, tomorrow isn't... Show you the money, but not all of it because you weren't perfect. Okay, one more bonus question. Here we go. Movie quote or kindergarten lesson. A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. You give up? It's both. Trick question. Here we have, how do you draw Carl's Jr.? Which of these restaurant chains' logos does not contain an image described by the restaurant name itself? Red Lobster's, The Cheesecake Factory's, Planet Hollywood's, or Buffalo Wild Wings? Here's where the money is. There's a lobster in the Red Lobster logo, a planet in the Planet Hollywood logo, and a buffalo in the Buffalo Wild Wings logo. But there's nothing cheesecake or factory related depicted in the Cheesecake Factory logo. Which is why I never eat there. Is it a cheesecake restaurant? Is it a factory? How the heck am I supposed to know what I'm getting myself into? I think you're a little lost in space. But you won't be for much longer because you've just won this globe of Neptune. You can't tell one uninhabitable area of frozen methane from the next without it. This wrong answer, the game has earned you $4,000. Don't spend it all in one place. Round one is complete, and you're doing pretty well, probably because there's no competition. Don't forget, in round two, all the cash is doubled. Now get out there and make me proud. Here's one for you. Epic Jail. Which of these Batman villains would most likely end up in the prison from Orange is the New Black? Penguin, Poison Ivy, Joker, or Mr. Freeze? Orange is the New Black is set in a female prison, and Poison Ivy is the only female Batman villain here. I get so confused with that series. Is it a drama or is it a comedy? I mean, there are a lot of heavy, meaningful scenes, but on the other hand, there's a dude who dresses up like a bat.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
And on its way, energy in its most tasteless form. I like the types of questions that leave a waxy film in my mouth.
Cookie fortune sweet, cookie fortune, cookie necessary.
Okay, let's read this sucker. To err is human, to forgive divine. Okay, which of these baseball scores describes a shortstop in need of divine forgiveness? E1, E3, E6, or E9? Really? Want to see the answer? In baseball scoring, the pitcher is numbered 1, the catcher 2, first baseman 3, second baseman 4, third baseman 5, and the shortstop is 6. And the E is short for error. But don't look for forgiveness from me, buddy. You'll just have to live with your error, your millions of dollars, the endless parade of women, but not my forgiveness.
Follow me down to the sea.
Pucker up for low-hanging fruit. If retailer Lane Bryant started pairing their plus-sized clothing with full-bodied red wines for an enhanced shopping experience, what might they advertise? The Chianti collection, the Beaujolais collection, the Sauvignon Blanc collection, or the Petite Sirah collection? This is gonna hurt. No, I'll get this. Don't let the name fool you. The Petite Sirah grape produces one of the most robust, full-bodied red wines. Perfect for a full-bodied woman in a plus-sized red dress. The enhanced shopping experience would also feature the salespeople engaging you in heavy conversation over weighty topics. Take a good look at Uber Scary. So I started using Uber, you know, that private car service app, because I refuse to hail a cab like a chump. The only time I stretch my arm out anymore is to high-five my Uber driver, a person who has my information but I don't know at all. Hey! Which cab driver should Uber not hire? Because he's a mass murderer. Latka Gravis, John Winger, Archie Bunker, or Travis Bickle? Travis Bickle is the serial killer played by Robert De Niro in Martin Scorsese's 1976 classic film Taxi Driver. I find the whole mass murderer cab driver stereotype offensive. Just because somebody wants to make an honest living murdering people doesn't mean there's secretly some crazy wacko who drives complete strangers around the city for money. Here we have OUSOB. I love when people just use initials instead of a first name. J.K. Rowling, T.S. Eliot, others. Okay, shape up, because this one can be worth extra points if you get it right.
It's the put the choices into order, then buzz in and see if you are right. Question.
Put these people in the following order. The actor from the Hughleys, the author of Lady Chatterley's Lover, the mystery man who hijacked a 727 in 1971 and then escaped by parachute. DB, DL, DH, DL, DH, DB, DH, DB, DL, or DL, DB, DH. Watch the clock. Sucks to be you. Ready for this? D.L. Hughley starred in the Hughleys, D.H. Lawrence wrote Lady Chatterley's Lover, and D.B. Cooper is the name used for a mystery hijacker from the early 70s who was never caught. Ah, the 70s, when all you needed to get away with a crime was a parachute. Welcome to... Ah, you already know the rules. Off you go. Let's get it conned. What film did these actors con their way through? Good luck. That's the game! I'm something of a con man myself. One time I ran this scam where I posed as the host of a fake game show. I would promise the players all sorts of money for answering trivia questions correctly, but once the game ended, I would just pocket the money and run off. Anyway...
You don't know Jack!
My My name is Jaden Funk, and I want to teach you slam poetry. But talk is cheap, right? Cheap like a toy made in China by kids in sweatshops working 9 to 5 like Dolly Parton. The interruption. But North Korea just dropped a nuclear bomb on us, just like I dropped a bomb. Mom and Dad, I'm not running the family business. Mom and Dad, I want to be a slam poet artist. To be happy like a megastore smiley face, you have to wear a matching vest just like everybody else. Ding dong, ding dong. Welcome to heaven. The most powerful words to any true-blooded American. So talk isn't cheap, but my class is. $50 for the 8-week session at the Rosewood Adult Learning Center. Hope to see you there.
Piddle paddle.
That's right. Hey guys, what you playing?
Piddle paddle.
Piddle paddle? Can I play?
Sure, just roll the dice.
Hi, I'm Cookie, and that's my carbon monoxide detector, but don't worry, I don't smell anything. It's a false alarm. One player. All right, this is going to be a party. And the wrong answer of the game is brought to you by...
Hats for rats. What? They're good enough for medical testing, but not good enough for a hat? Let them have a hat, for God's sake. It's all they've got.
Try to choose the wrong answer, brought to you by our sponsor, to get prizes and cash. Okay, what are we waiting for?
Get ready, time for question 1.
First on the docket, I specialize in ailments of the man-bear-pig. If an ENT doctor were to inspect the children from the cartoon South Park, what would she probably notice about them? They're missing their N's and their T's, they're missing their E's, their N's, and their T's, they're just missing their N's, or they're missing their E's and their N's. Watch the time! That was quality. Want to see the right answer? An ENT doctor specializes in ear, nose, and throat. The South Park kids have throats, but no visible ears or noses. But considering the horrible things that come out of their throats alone, perhaps it's for the best.
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you so.
Coming up, Microwave Eggman on high for 7 minutes, and it's a trippy dis or dat. I'm going to read off 7 items, and for each one I want you to tell me if it's something mentioned in the lyrics of the Beatles song I Am the Walrus, or an ingredient in Stouffer's meatloaf and gravy frozen dinner. If it's in I Am the Walrus, press the square button. If it's in Stouffer's meatloaf and gravy frozen dinner, press the circle button. We good? Here we go. Cornstarch, cornflake, yellow matter custard, pork, beef powder, molasses, penguin, cuckoo, pretty good. And if there's one thing that can last longer than frozen meatloaf, apparently it's Ringo Starr.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
Up next, Yo-Yo Ma is so sick of your bitching. So, you know how people are always saying, oh, look, I'm playing the world's smallest violin when I try to tell them my very serious problems? That really ticks me off. If I wanted to tell somebody who's whining about their problems, oh look, I'm participating in the world's smallest string quartet, how many tiny violins would I need to pretend to play? 1 tiny violin, 2 tiny violins, 3 tiny... Very good. There are 4 people in a violin quartet. Unfortunately, I didn't ask about a violin quartet, I asked about a string quartet. So you might know what a quartet means, but you don't know anything about culture. You can count, but can you feel? Here's what a right answer looks like. A string quartet typically consists of 2 violin players plus a violist and a cellist. And not one of them gives a shit about your problems. This one's called, From Space, Earth Looks So Apple-teeny. What would you see on the science show Cosmos if it were really about drinking Cosmos? Neil deGrasse Tyson buzzing from vodka? Neil deGrasse Tyson drunk on gin? Neil deGrasse Tyson sloppy from whiskey? Or good effort. Good effort. Oh, honestly. Cosmopolitans are made from vodka, triple sec, and, a few other ingredients. And while the show would be entertaining, it would probably just get people arguing about whether Cosmos were perfected over time, or if they came from a giant mixologist in the sky. 5 fingers! Here's a good one. Sky Fallout Boy. So, I finally got around to seeing Skyfall, and...
Oh, yoo-hoo! Cookie Masterson! It's me!
Oh, great, it's Billy again.
It's not Dilly, it's Dutty!
Oh, great, it's Betty again.
One's made of skin, one's made of wood, so who's the dummy?
Not me. I've decided to become a famous movie actress.
Again, this wig is not convincing at all, Billy.
So I'm going to audition to be a Bond girl.
Whoa, careful, Betty. It's usually not safe to be a Bond girl. Have you seen a James Bond movie?
I've seen pretty much all of them. Which James Bond girl gets killed before the end of the movie? Tussie Galore, Clancy O'Toole, Neri Goodnight, or Octotussie?
Allow me.
Tussie Galore, Neri Goodnight, and Octotussie make it to the end of the movie, but Clancy O'Toole drowns in a swimming pool in Diamonds Are Forever. So I'll just be a surviving Bond girl like Tussie Galore or Octotussie.
Please, just stop saying Tussie.
I'm not saying Tussie, I'm saying Tussie.
This is making me uncomfortable.
Well, don't be such a Tussie.
Let's say so long to round 1. And lucky for you, there's room for improvement. Remember, I'm doubling the value of each question in round 2. And don't forget, big cash prizes can be yours if you find the wrong answer of the game. Okay, here it comes. It's time for Witty Twister. So, I've been watching the HBO series Girls, and wow, every episode has its star Lena Dunham taking off her shirt. They must save a lot of money on wardrobe for that show. If Lena Dunham only starred in shows that featured nudity, which musical could she be in? Pippin, Man of La Mancha, Miss Saigon, or Hair? The musical Hair, which is set in the late 1960s to early 70s, sports a famous nude scene, so Lena would feel comfortable doing this show. I once saw a production of Steel Magnolias that featured full front nudity, until I realized it was a strip club filled with older women.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
And now, we're too po for this house. What kind of homeowner's insurance would be most important to whoever owns the House of Usher from Edgar Allan Poe's story? Giant monster rodent infestation coverage? Let me show you something. At the end of Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, the house splits in half and then crumbles to the ground for no worldly reason. The point is, if you ever find yourself in the middle of an Edgar Allan Poe story, just make sure you get full coverage on every possible thing. Now, there are no giant rats in the House of Usher, but hopefully there are some rats in your life, because you've just won a rat pimp hat from Hats for Rats. Your rat will be the life of the party with this pimp hat. Gold rat teeth sold separately. Today's wrong answer of the game gets you another 8,000 on top of your current score. Sweet.
Follow me down to the sea.
Say hello to Honey Crunches of Oats.
Cookie fortune with Cookie Masterson.
And now, for your entertainment, I will do an impression of a man eating a fortune cookie, using nothing but my hands and this fortune cookie. Pretty uncanny impression, huh? Okay, let's see. There's no such thing as a sure thing. Okay, but if I were betting on the ponies, which of these would be the closest thing to a sure thing? Betting on Mr. Steroids, 1-to-1 odds. Betting on Future Glue, 2-to-5 odds. Betting on the Main Vein, 7-to-5. Whoa, whoa! It was begging to be picked. Of the horses listed here, Future Glue with 2-to-5 odds would be the favorite to win, and so, in theory, the closest thing to a sure thing. And that's good enough for me. Hey, Steve the sound guy, put a tin hayseed on Future Glue to jump the gusset.
I don't think those are real things you just said, Mr. Masterson.
Don't give me the quick and the shift, Steve. Just do it.
Whatever you say, Mr. Masterson.
Oh, some people these days, they couldn't tell a hound's whistle from a saw hair to save their grandmother's biscuits. Let's try how to eat a ginger. Say Disney decides to do a big screen adaptation of the folktale The Gingerbread Man. Which existing Disney character could they pull out of retirement to play the animal that finally eats the gingerbread man? Mufasa, Robin Hood, Baloo, or Sven? Excuse me. One right answer coming up. In the Disney adaptation of Robin Hood is a fox, just like the character that eventually tricks and eats the gingerbread man in the classic story, so he could conceivably play the part. I think it's finally time a Disney movie ended with the main character being eaten alive. I thought that's how The Little Mermaid was gonna end. Why not try that question of the month? If Tampax were a company that was always in the red, what would be true? Tampax is profitable. Tampax just when a company is in the red, it means they're losing money. But I gotta say, it does sound better than Tampax being in the black. Brace for the attack. Of course, who wants to hear my yapping? Oh, I'm still doing it. Sorry, here you go. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Lions, lions, and more lions. Oh my. used to think lions were pretty dangerous animals, but according to the YouTube videos I keep seeing, all they really want to do is hug people. That's why I brought one into the studio with me today. Aw, look at him. Come here, buddy. Give us a hug. Come on. Ah! What's happening? This isn't like the videos at all. Why did you lie to me, Internet? Why?
You don't know Jack!
Hey kids, are your parents out of the room? Yeah! Good, because I want to talk to you about candyforgold.com. At candyforgold.com, we take all your parents' boring old gold and jewelry and send you back bags of delicious candy. But listen, we can't send you the candy unless you send us the gold. So here's what I need you to do. Wait till your mommy and daddy leave the house, sneak into their bedroom, and look through all their drawers. If you see anything made of shiny gold, just grab it. It doesn't even have to be made of gold, just as long as it's shiny. The next part's easy. Just put it all into a properly sealed and stamped box or envelope and mail it to candyforgold.com. And whatever you do, don't tell your parents. They're busy and they don't want to know anything about this. I'm serious. Keep your mouth shut. That's candyforgold.com. Shh, it's our little secret.
No matter who you are, you have dreams.
I want to be